Uncle Ron and stuff. It's been a while, a long time. The 20th of November already. I've been offline for 2 months. I was resurrecting the Titanic while I was offline. I got nothing really new to say. 2 months I've been working on my website. Of course, I think the last time I talked, maybe I finally got the book published. Still in the process of getting the audio version done. It's taken forever. And it costs a lot of money. And I'm stupid. Books are like, like internet websites. If you don't know it exists, you can't visit it, you know. That's the reason I spent so much time redoing. I have a website for probably 25 years now, and I needed a good update, clean, house cleaning, and updating and deleting some stuff, and it's taken a while. And I'm using some old tools, and they don't particularly act like they're supposed to, or I don't really understand. I think I do, but they just sometimes they work right, sometimes they don't, and it's been frustrating. Anyway, a side aspect I thought was interesting about off of this is it's been a long time since I've done computer programming, coding, that kind of logic, reasoning, and I used to do a lot of it, but I haven't touched anything like that. Income taxes is the closest thing that comes to it, but that's not anything compared to what I've been doing. Anyway, well, I'm sorry I got itchy nose. I don't know what that means. Um, 4 or 5 hours a day of down into code, and if you inadvertently leave a period someplace, that line doesn't work in the code. Or you accidentally use uppercase when it was supposed to be a lowercase, and that line doesn't work. So it's you got to bend to them again. Maybe AI will change all that. You don't have to be so damn perfect on structures. Anyway, one of the aspects of that was I found that it's impacted my short-term memory. Uh, some of the stuff I used to do in coding and programming, you can invent anything you want. You invent a tag, a name, like return on investment. That means something specific, and it has attributes associated with it. Well, you can invent any kind of noun, and there are lots of verb operators in programming that let you manipulate those nouns you've created, the values they can have, and what you want to do with them. Anyway, you have to keep a lot on top of your head. I did learn over the years. I have a long list of the variable names and what their attributes and what the ranges of the variables are. Anyway, you keep all that stuff on top of your head because you're doing it every day, and you try and remember, this and that and everything else. Well, I found that it just fogged up my head, and when I go to try to remember something, this stuff just seems to be in the way, and that's an interesting attribute. I don't know. Maybe that is the issue with people who have trouble remembering or keeping their focus on something. Is that there's other things that your brain is holding on to. It's in the way. It's now. Since I've just finished today, I published my website back on Google again, and with a sitemap this time, and hopefully they'll index it, and I'll get my proper scoring and ranking back again. One time on my name at first on the list, and that's what I'm trying to get to in support of the book. And then just all the content I have, like 700 pages on the internet that have repairs and music and all kind of stuff. And anyway, I'd like to get it back out there again. And now I can go forward and start linking into my YouTube videos and exchanging back and forth and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, the point I was trying to make today was it's interesting how balancing all this stuff on top of my head, I don't remember it happening like that when I was younger, but maybe it did and I was just unaware. And that might be the case. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but it was having the same sort of impact on me. But I'm certainly aware of it this time at my age, that it impacted my short-term memory. So I used to be able to see an actor on a movie or screen and I could tell you his name instantly, or I could, somebody said, how do I get from here to Walmart? And I'd tell you the street names. And that sort of has deteriorated or is currently layered over. I've asphalted over my memory with a stupid website. That's what I did. I plowed the ground. All those memories that had settled down and were fine where they were, I moved them all around. I don't know that the mind is a fixed capacity. Like you can't, it doesn't run out of storage space, right? It's not like a hard drive where you just, you can keep putting new stuff in, right? I assume that's true. It doesn't like push anything out the door, does it? I don't know. Certainly all the calculus and other things I learned in college have departed the scene. That's pretty obvious. Now, whether something else took over it, and I know memories they have to be refreshed. You have to think about them to keep them active. And that's just because the chemicals degrade in your brain. But anyway, that's the fascinating thing I had to say today was that I can see if you really focus on something, for a while, you're really, really into it, it will have impacts on your overall mental processing ability, your cognitive abilities. And that, as I say, I never thought about it. It never really occurred to me. It happened to me per se. I was aware of, but that may explain some behaviors that you see in humans. And I don't know. I just throw it out again. I keep going back to the same sort of theme as I ask questions I don't know the answer to. And the point is, I'm looking for somebody that might have an insight on it that I can think about and ponder and go down a black hole of unknowns and maybe hit my head on the side of something and boom, I'll learn something new and grok it. Everybody knows the term grok, right? Where you understand it at a very deep level. To teach something, you have to know it real well. To be a good teacher, you have to know the subject material real well. Well, grokking is like you can teach it, only it's at an even deeper level. That's the mythical definition of grok. And I'm always into seeing if I could grok something. When I was in Egypt, and we were on a high hill overlooking what's it called? The pyramids, Giza, not Giza. I get it confused because it's Gaza, Giza and Gaza. It's Giza, where the head of the Sphinx is there, as well as the three great pyramids that are located there. Anyway, I was on this plane above there, and I closed my eyes. I was at a Bonnie Raitt concert the other day and last other night, and it was visual. They had all kind of flashing lights and everything, and she's strutting around and everything, but it was an auditory experience for me. So I closed my eyes, and I could really hear the volume of the space. It was in a really nice, but old and not acoustically perfect auditorium or a concert space. I'm sure they hold orchestras there, and it's was good at its time, but it's not designed for the like today's stuff. There are companies that build oh, what's the one up in there's a famous concert hall where the acoustics are just outstanding. You can hear somebody on the stage whisper, and you can be far way back, and you can hear it. That's really, they grokked auditory at that point. They knew how to reflect sounds and so on and so on. But anyway, I was inside this large space and volume, and if I closed my eyes, I could hear the large space. I could feel the large space I was in, which was an auditory space. And I had written a piece not long ago about how spaces, I feel differently when I'm in a room than I do when I'm standing on a mountaintop. I think everybody does. I feel differently when I'm in an elevator as opposed to riding in a car. In fact, I took a short trip, and they've started building these Jersey walls, or big giant walls, on either side of the freeway now to, I guess, keep the noise down for the people who live right on the other side of that wall. But it feels like I'm in a racetrack. It feels like it's got a particular weird feeling to it that I don't care for. I'm walled in on both sides. Like if something happened, you couldn't go anywhere. You can't. It's a 10-foot wall. They got the border on either side is totally sealed. The borders are sealed along these highways. There's a door there, and sometimes you'll see them in the wall. They're probably locked. You couldn't even get out if you wanted to. But spaces, first time I was out west, big sky country. You could see for, I don't know, I say 1,000,000 acres, but a lot. The same thing with sound. It was auditory. And I was trying to remember a lot of the concerts I went to were in various venues, and the sound could range from, Wolf Trap always had a good sound, but then I was usually inside the venue and relatively close. Although I was also on the lawn many times, and it was still a great experience for sure. And you get the sound, but I diverted, and I don't really have anything special today. It's just been a while. And fall has come, the leaves are down, I got to deal with those. And cold weather, we fired up the fireplace the other day. We have a natural gas fireplace. Fired that on, got that on, been watching some football, Washington Commanders, we go winning for a change. It's been a long time. I working on the front porch, sanding, painting. I power washed it. I have been sanding, and I had to cut rotted wood out and fix that and pair it and prime it and paint it. And I'm still doing that. And I'm over in the terrible corner that's really hard to get to with ladders. So I have a 15-foot ladder. I got a 12-foot step ladder. I got a 6-foot step ladder. I got 4 ladders out front. They've been out there for 2 months. I'm still using them to move them around. So I'm the ladder man, and eventually I got to climb up on the roof. I got some moss growing on the roof. It's like I live in the tundra area, where moss goes all over the. Watched an interesting movie the other night. It was set in Lapland, and it was reindeer herders, which I think we classify as an indigenous tribe, as a part of Finland, I think it was. And it was interesting. They had a lot of reindeer. I mean, there must have been thousands of them in a herd, and they had this massive amount of area that I guess they never used the word reservation, but I think that's what it was, or a nationally set aside area for their reindeering ancestral practices. And anyway, I thought it was interesting. I know it's been a long time since I've seen that many reindeer. And they were like cows. It was interesting. Their behavior was very cow-like. They were very docile. You could literally walk up to them and pet them and so on, like cows. My grandfather had cows, and I was always a little fearful of them. They were pretty big animals, and they didn't look mean or anything, and they were kind of slow, but they looked really, they were kind of dumb. Yeah, I had the impression they were rather dumb animals, if you will, and they could just hurt me accidentally. I didn't think they were going to charge me or anything like that. But anyway, reindeer, they had horns, um, but I didn't see anybody get injured or anything. They grabbed them by the horns and they branded them and they sheared them and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, that was a big open space. It was snowed. They carried on for like a year, and everything was covered with snow. And they had to take feed out for the reindeer because they couldn't bust up the frozen tundra to get to it to eat it, because that's what they chewed on. And then it came spring, and it was all green again. And the reindeer were chowing down. There was plenty for them to eat, but mountains and streams running through. It was very pretty, but probably way too cold for most anybody of a normal whatever ancestral. More and more, I probably because of the wife doing ancestral stuff, I can see how the culture and it has ancestral legacy. From when things were really, really hard a long time ago, and it wasn't that really that long ago. Things were really hard. 1500s, 1000 BC. Um, and there were reasons, tribes. We still have a lot of tribes. Sometimes we call them nations, but even in the United States, there's all these different ethnicities or whatever you want to call them, and people clump together. There's a big population of Romanians here, or there's a big population of something over there, and they tribe together because they have similar beliefs and rituals and practices and everything. And it has ancestral. It goes way, 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 way back. And you would have thought that over time that culturally that it would have modified some of those ancestral sort of trappings, and for some sense, they want to hold on to them. They don't want to lose their ancestry. They do, people do appreciate the ancestral practices. I don't know, Christmas trees at Christmas. That just got passed down. People still doing it. I don't know where it started, to be honest with you. But anyway, it was some sort of ancestral thing that made it into the culture. And even, I don't know, everybody has a Christmas tree, but a lot of people do. And they have already these other practices, but they still do Christmas tree because they like sharing in the event. But anyway, that's enough for today. I just wanted to say hello again, and I will try to get back to producing more How You Fix It's. I've done a lot of fixing in the last 2 months, and I should have taken pictures and videos and stuff, and I haven't. But I'll probably get around to do it, and there'll be always be more fixy stuff. I planted a bunch of grass about a month and a half ago. I thought might be too late to start it. But it has doing really well, actually. I did have to water it some to begin with, but it's sprouted up, and I think it's going to blend in real well with what I already have. So, I'm still trying to learn the whole chemistry of soils and grasses. There's not enough time to learn everything that you need to know that you need to know. I don't. I'm one of those people that rarely asks for help or hires help. I figure it out myself, and that's a good thing and a bad thing because I only learn so much of it, and then I never get to learning the rest of it. And I got a little knowledge, which makes me think I know a lot, which is not really true. Uncle Ron's stuff. Today is the 20th of November, and it's been quite a while, but I will post it. I don't even know what tag to put on this one. Everything has labels and names and tags, and right, even I don't know when they started, but TV shows all have names now. This is season 3, episode 42, The Thieving, the Last Chance. It has a name associated with it. Episode of She Called. She Called. Oh, I don't know. Bye-bye for now.